again, this is David from Dash Off-Road, and we're on YouTube again, and I see I have to move my camera up. This is what I get for not being as prepared, bit of an amateur. So, and there's mosquitoes in my car, sorry about that. So I'm sitting in what I call the limousine position. I'm in the back of my Y62 Patrol in the third row. I've got it all set up with the second row folded forward so I can talk to you guys. There's mosquitoes flying around because I've had the door open. But tonight we're going to talk about, and I've got my notes here, we're going to talk about how to increase the fuel range of your Y62 Patrol. I'm going to go through the fuel system and what options are available for long range tanks, etc. And then we'll get into it. Actually, I've got something which is going to blow your mind. Yeah, I'm hyping this up, but it will. It's going to blow your mind. So first of all, let's get into it. We have to, tonight's drink. So we always talk about a drink, and if I can get this mosquito, I'm going to be so happy. Tonight's drink is going to be a surprise, unless you've been on my Facebook page. We have looks better from this way, a mojito mocktail. It's very important to lubricate the larynx and these sorts of things. And now I'm doing my mocktail, that's right, there's no alcohol in it because I'm being socially responsible, and I don't want to be seen every time on YouTube with a drink in my hand, well, an alcoholic drink. So this is my social responsibility and having a health kick this week, which leads perfectly into my next little segment, which is subscriber shout out, which I want to start doing. This week goes out to Nathan Cosgrove, and you know why. People that put comments in YouTube down below, I'm going to start shouting you guys out because I really appreciate you putting those comments in. It does great things for my channel. Now, let's get on to the next section. And of course, YouTube Live means you can put in comments and I can see them as I'm talking to you, which is so cool. I think they're a little bit delayed because of, I don't know, they're making sure there's no offensive comments in there. But nonetheless, it means I can read them and I can cover it off. So if there's something you want me to come back on, we can do it, because we can go on any tangent we want. Now, next part, and it wouldn't be me on a Tuesday night unless I threw in a few shameless plugs. And you know what they're going to be? The Y62 Patrol Modified Action Group. It's something I'm trying to build up. Since I mentioned it last week on here, it grew by 10% in a week. So I'm stoked with that. And you also remember the concept of this group is brands can come on and advertise there, that's fine, but they have to offer discounts or offers or something like that for members. And last week there was a bunch of brands we went through that are going to offer you guys with Y62 Patrols that are on the Y62 Patrol Modified Action page. All sorts of things. Go back and have a look. They will go live on the 1st of December, so I will put up the terms and conditions of what's involved. But basically, if you're going to go buy something from one of these brands, mention Modified Action and you'll get a discount or an offer or a gift with purchase or something like that. This week, the two brands that have jumped on board this week, and you'll be able to guess this one, Big O 4x4. So they're the guys that do fabrication, and they made my sliders up and they did a sweet job. They're the best sliders I've seen, CAD drawn, laser cut, tube steel made out of like roll cage steel, fantastic. They're going to give 10% off, which is fairly significant. You know, that's all you got to do is mention Modified Action, ring them up, and yeah, 10% straight up. The second one is Cogear, and hence why I'm in my car tonight. We've got the LEDs that I've put all through my car, and they really transform it from, I don't know what Nissan, I've said this before, I don't know what Nissan was thinking when they stole some 2-year-old's birthday candles and put them in the Y62. They're shocking. Honestly, who uses halogen these days? So there's a kit that Kerry has put together. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interior LEDs which just brighten everything right up. And then there's the reversing lights as well. So the factory reversing halogens are good for like 3 meters. When you put the Cogear reversing ones in, it goes like 30 meters. So usually that whole package and shipping and everything is $137. But for 10 people only, or orders only, he's going to do them for $75, starting on the 1st of December. And there'll be a link to his website or to how to get this offer, so you can have a look at that on the 1st of December. So if you're interested in these lights, probably speak to him now, he can twist his arm. But anyway, that's what's going on there. And I know what you're thinking now. It's time for the content. You came on here to learn about long range tanks or fuel extensions, that sort of thing. And let's see, if I sit forward, I think the lighting is a little bit better. Let's just do a little bit of a modification, and this is what happens when you go live. That's good, hopefully you're hearing me all right. So let's get into it. I'm going to do something that is going to blow your mind, something that's free, that is going to give you more range out of your Y62 Patrol that you didn't know before. And I've got my cheat sheet notes here because I'm sure I'm going to forget something. Yes, so you guys that own the Y62s, how much fuel have you ever squeezed into it? The best I've ever pushed into mine is 125 litres, and we know it's a 140 litre tank, so I'm going to tell you why you can only get 125 litres. And that's going from like full through the whole range of the tank down to, like, there's a gap from the white to the red, and the red is all the empty part. Getting my graphics right here. You go past the red part of the empty, there's a gap, and you go to the 0, and then the needle keeps going down to the very bottom of 0, and that's as game as I've got so far. Then I've gone and filled it up, and the best I've got is 125 litres. And I've done some research, and this is why. How many fuel tanks do you think we've got? You're going to say, yeah, 140 litres. Incorrect. We actually have 2 tanks, and this is because they sell this car or this platform globally, and not everyone gets, like the Armada doesn't get automatic full drive, low range and all that sort of thing. They're all-wheel drive, and there's many other markets that sell cheaper platforms, and they sell it with a 100 litre tank, and then when you opt for the full drive version, you get another 40 litre tank. So there's 2 tanks. It blew my mind when I saw that, and this is part of the problem why we can't get it full. So when you're filling it up at the fuel station, petrol station, it goes into the 100 litre tank first, and then there's like a little siphon hose which goes to the second 40 litre tank. But what happens, because you're filling it up for such a long time, is it'll fill up the first tank, start to fill the second one, but then there's a back pressure, and it gets to a point where there's enough back pressure to make the fuel filler click. And you can keep doing it, click, 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 and it's just going to won't let you put in any more. And you would have known people that have experienced something like this, filled it to the top, go and fill it up again the next morning, and you can fit another 15 litres in. That's because that's how much back pressure there is to get into the second tank to fill it up. Now, I'd love to go and investigate this a bit further and put a bigger hose in to siphon to the second tank. I just got to get around to looking at it and doing that. But this is why. So either, I guess, if you got the time, say you're at a fuel stop, go fill up, go have a cup of tea, go to the loo, whatever, wait a half an hour, let it siphon through, or even wait overnight until the next morning, and then go fill it up again. Because if you're doing Simpson Desert or something like that, you need every drop of fuel that you can get, and that's how you do it. So there's a little tip for you for how to get more range out of your tank for free. Next one. Now, I had an interesting experience today, and I'm not going to rant too much, but I've been researching long-range tanks, and I didn't have a great experience because the guy that I was speaking to didn't value Y62 Patrols the same way we did, and actually, if you're on the Modified Action page, you would have seen that. But so I'm only going to really talk about, there's 3 long-range tanks available. I'm only really going to talk about the LRA long-range automotive. Joanne, how are you? Done, filled it, drove, good job. How's the chip going? Yes, I've done 5,000 Ks with my Uniship, I think, and that's all been with 35s. I've done all different fuel types, towing, everything. Now I'm going to swap back to my 33s and probably do another 5,000 Ks, and then I'll give you a 10,000 K long-term review. So hopefully you can hold out for that one. So I'm mainly going to speak about the LRA tank, because that's the one I actually like the best anyway, even looking through all the different types. So this is a way that you can have 140 litres of your own tanks, and then you get another 150 litres after that. So it's getting you up to like 290 litres. But there's some considerations you need to take in, because as you know, I'm all about weight reduction and weight. Now the tank alone weighs 57 kilos. Like, that's just the metal. As soon as you add it on, you don't get any extra range, but it weighs 57 kilos. Then you can fill it with that extra 150 litres, and fuel doesn't weigh the same, like it's not 1 for a kilogram. I think it's about 0.75. So after you fill it, that adds another 113 kilograms to the car, and it's not like nice kilograms, it's past your axle. So there's like a multiplier effect. I need to be an engineer to know exactly what it is, but 113 kilos behind the axle is heavier, or a more detriment to in front of the axle. So straight away, by just filling it up and having this extra tank put on, it's adding 170 kilos. Now that's significant. That's like a KMR rear bar with 2 tyres on the back. And if you've already got that, oh, good mention. You can't put a sub tank on if you've got the factory Nissan tow bar. So it doesn't fit. The way the KMR goes to the tow point is up like this, and then the Nissan one is straight across. So if you wanted if you already got a Nissan tow bar, you'd have to remove that to put the LRA tank on. Bit of a pain, but look, you're going to lose your spare. You've got to put that somewhere, anywhere. So you might as well get a KMR and factor it in at the same time, or a Razzle, or one of those sorts of things. There is a Dash off-road rear bar coming. Watch out for that one. All right, so the other thing is about the different ones on the market. The LRA one has 2 filling points, and I had a bit of think about this, because the other brands have got a single filler point. Yeah, it is going to be a Predator one, man. The other one's got a single filler, so as you fill the competitor one, it fills like say 80% goes into the front tank, the Nissan tank, and another 20% or something goes into the rear tank. And then as it fills up, it sort of fills up like that, and then the last one catches up at the end. And then when it drains down, it sort of does the same sort of thing. It drains the main tank down first, and then you have to pump that one across as it comes down. Now, the upside of that is there's some fancy gadgets that will pump it across to make sure there's always fuel getting across. Even if you have a short or something like that, it backs that up. But it means if you've got contaminated fuel, you can't isolate them. Yeah, so they both use a pump. They both pump from the rear tank forwards, but they fill differently. LRA tank fills into, it's got 2 holes. What I'll do after this, I'll post some photos up. I'll put it on the modified action page of the way that you fill up the LRA tank, and you can choose to go on the front tank or the rear tank. So let's say you're putting in 91 octane for whatever reason. You've got Unichip in the front, and then you went, I'm going full driving, switch to the 98 octane in the back tank, and change the Unichip to be the high performance 98 power map. And then when you're going to go back home again, you go back to the front tank, and you can isolate your fuel. Or let's say you got fuel from Adelaide, and then you just needed where I am, you needed a splash to get onto the next big town, so you put 50 litres in the sub tank. Not sure how good quality it is. It means you can isolate it. So I'm a big fan of having 2 filling points, so I can isolate my fuel where it goes. And hey, if one tank ruptures, you've got the other tank. Isolation, I think that's the way to go. That's what I would do. So yeah, good on LRA there. Just a few little facts about it. So twin fill, comes with a switch gauge, so down by like your right knee or wherever you want to put it, it's got a switch and then a gauge on the switch to show you how much is in the rear tank as well. It shows like the levels. They're made of 2mm alloy steel, so that's plenty enough. Like when you think about the bash plates on our current tank, oh, that's no good. Timed out. It's it's better than that, so it's going to be fine. They come with a 3-year warranty, Australian made. It makes sense. If, put it this way, if you want that because you want to isolate your fuel, have those sort of Kevin Brown Davis. If you want to isolate your fuel, or if you want more range, you basically have to get a long range tank. But if you look at the return on investment, let's say you're going to fill up just because fuel is a bit cheaper this week, and you're going to go a bit further. Say you save 20 cents per litre, 140 litres. I did the maths. Basically, you'd have to fill up 75 times to get your return on investment for installing one. So that would take years. 5 years, something like that. So it just depends how many Ks you do and that sort of thing to get your return on investment. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it straight up. Same as a Unichip. If you're going to do it straight up so you can get your return on investment and the fuel savings. But if you just need it for extra range, for towing, for isolating fuel, all that sort of stuff, just jump on it. So I'm getting towards the end, and this is where, if you've got any questions, please throw them up, because I'd love to hear that's how this topic came up tonight. Someone brought it up from last week, and I went and researched and I came up with it again. So if there's topics you want to come up with, I'll do that next week. Internet's very slow. Sorry, James. I don't know if that's you or me. I'm just running off my data like I do every week. Hopefully it's all right for everyone else. Yeah, the weight is a concern as well. I agree with you there, Jamie. As I'm about to sort of sign off, I would recommend, please go check out that modified action. If you're not a member on there yet, do it, especially before the 1st of December. And make sure if you want to be alerted to these sessions that happen every Tuesday night, go to my channel, hit the bell, and that will alert you every time I'm going live. It will send you like a notification on your phone. Just want to thank you guys. Exhaust system. That is a technical question. I don't know if I've got the answer, because I have been researching that one quite a bit. We'll see how I go. But I've had a few people ask for that, so that we'll see how we go. It might take some more. And I know when I rang LRA today, they wanted me to do a follow-up video to this, so there might even be a follow-up one. We'll see how we go with that too. Mick, I'm running a Brown Davis tank. Oh, it faded away. How bad is that? I've got to work out how to do that. I'll answer it in the comments, mate. 35s and fuel. Yeah, I've got a video on that actually. James, bull bar isn't very good on it. Okay, I didn't get to read all of that. It fades away. I've got to work out how to do that better. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to read all these afterwards. Thank you for watching, and there's a video coming out this Thursday on the Cogear locker, and then I'll see you here again next Tuesday. Yeah.